Welcome to Nkosi Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Find your own voice. Lead from within. Over to you, Carol Ann. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Yes, and good afternoon from London, UK. And yes, I'm Carol Ann, and as the writing facilitator, what I do is I support soul-driven entrepreneurs in becoming more productive with their writing by connecting them with their deeper innate ability to write. But more importantly, they experience free-flowing writing. They experience an unlocking of the writer within and getting their book written, getting their story written, because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within. So thank you, Nomsa.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. So our topic today is how do you cope with the dark days of winter? So Carol Ann, you chose this topic. Would you like to explain the topic to our audience, please?
Something my mum always used to struggle with was the dark days of winter. And I know there are many people that struggle with that. You know, the nights draw in, it gets darker, so your days are shorter. And there's something that happens, and it's very difficult to deal with. So I just thought it was something we could explore. And if there's anybody that's listening or that wants to know more, watches on replay, let us know. If there's any questions that they want to know about, then just get in touch with us, you know, because it is something that affects people. And I think also in the time that we're in right now, with having had so many lockdowns and being shut in and isolated, it's compounding it. So how can we deal with that? What are different ways of helping ourselves to bounce back again, and rather than making it wrong and sinking it into it and it taking control of us? So what are your thoughts, Nomsa?
Yes, I think basically so many people, they struggle with the dark days of winter because like right now things have been okay, and all of a sudden we've got a different variant. We've been locked down for a very, very long time, and we're starting to get excited to get used to the normal, whatever that is. And we're getting told that the numbers are going up, and there might be plan B, which we don't know what the plan B that might be. But I think, and also the days are really, really short. It gets really dark very, very quickly. I see it because I go running at 7, and when I go running that time in the evening, it's really dark, and when I come back, it's really, really dark. So how do you cope with those short days? And just coping with that, because the summertime is everything. When it's sunny, it's a sunny day, everyone is happy. When it's cold, everyone is miserable. Some people are miserable, like myself. I just get on with it and try to basically to check in with myself very often with my feelings and everything. So I think it's very, very important to not to let this unseen challenge our life and change who we are as people. I think we should just basically it is very, very important during the challenging times, like even if it's not during challenging times, the winter time, to get to know yourself very well. If you know that you are somebody who gets depressed, because people are different. So if you are somebody who gets depressed during winter time, just get somebody there, get a coach, a therapist to basically to talk to somebody, because it does help to talk to a professional than when you talk to family members. I've seen that when you talk to family members, sometimes the problem gets worse. It's like, imagine you have married problems and you go and, or any problems or at work, you go and tell a family member, make sure that
Mhm.
family member, they're into personal development, they're going to give you some good advice, or else they'll make things worse by saying you don't deserve this. These people don't deserve to treat you like this, and just make things worse. But when you go to a professional, they work things out and basically try to get to know you and try to see feelings, why you feel the way you feel it during those different times, and work on a strategy where you can have a journal when those feelings appear, resurface, and then you can write them down, raise awareness of how do they appear, what's the trigger of those feelings during that time, so that you are aware. Because when you are aware of things, it means you get to really know you. You get to know the situation, the environment around you. I think it's very, very important. Over to you, Carol Ann.
Mm. Um, and what you're saying there is important. Someone else can get to know you. And I also think what's important is that you get to know yourself.
Yeah.
And so by recognizing what the triggers are, keeping a journal, writing it all down is something you can do for yourself. And reaching out and seeing somebody else, a professional, can help you because they can ask different questions that can then help you dive into it in a deeper way and lift you out and give you other tools and techniques to help support you. But to support yourself, get to know yourself. What are the triggers? And keeping a record or a journal of how you're feeling each day and what's happening and what triggers you, what's going on, it helps you to then recognize these triggers. Once you recognize the triggers, you can then do something about it. It's when you don't know what the triggers are, then they'll just keep triggering you because you're completely unaware of them. Awareness is the biggest key to actually being able to support yourself and move forward and heal in anything. And so noticing, having awareness of what's going on, keeping that journal, and getting out and having some exercise. You can write about what's going on for you, what are the emotions, what's happening, then go out and go for a walk, because getting out in sunlight is one of the best things you can do, and having some movement. And apparently the Scandinavians, they spend time outdoors no matter what the season is. So that's how they deal with this seasonal changes. But those dark nights and short days, get out in the daylight. I mean, I heard you say you go out in the morning, Nomsa, when it's still dark. That must have a difference on how you feel when you're out in the morning, as to how even though you're exercising, having light, sunlight and darkness must have an impact on you. How does it feel? Is there some difference for you?
Oh no, I go in the night to 7 p.m.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you go
I
in
go
the
out.
night. So
Yeah, I
it's
go
dark,
out.
but in the summer
Uh,
it's light. So
yes,
how is it?
yes.
Does it feel different?
Yeah, it is different, but it makes me run faster so I can come back. Yeah, the journey that would take me longer, so it takes me really quickly because I run fast. And yeah, I used to go at 5 before, even in summertime. It's still it's sunny but a little bit dark, but it's okay. But now at 7 is completely dark. So,
Mm.
but it makes a big difference because I have to have a torch. You have to have a torch, be aware of what is going on in front of you.
Yeah.
But in the light, I wouldn't have to do that. So, but it does make a big difference. Sometimes you can notice that, wish that it was basically it was sunny, it was lighter,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So either being able to find time to do it in the daytime when it is light, and if that isn't possible, then it's being able to deal with it happening in the darkness and how it's impacting and making you feel. And it's just having that awareness. And I heard you say, oh, it makes you run faster, so you get it over and done with quicker.
yeah, and even if
That's
when
lovely.
it's raining, it's even worse because even
Oh.
if it rains, you can't stop running. I only stop when there is snow because
Mm,
I don't want to the eyes to sleep.
mm,
But if it's raining, it's even exciting because you run fast and you get home very quickly
yeah.
when it's pouring with the rain. So yeah, but in the dark, it makes me
Mm,
run really fast because I want to head back. It's like the environment. I don't want to be in that environment, but it's got to be done. So I will have to do it quickly and then
mm-hmm.
get home quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but you're out and you're exercising, and that's the
Yeah,
main thing. Then if, in these darker nights and shorter days, if you can get out in the daytime, the important thing is going out in daylight, getting some sunlight. And also check if you're feeling low and um, tired, check your vitamin D levels, because obviously sunlight is where we get our vitamin D from. So check your vitamin D levels and just take some, vitamin D, which we're told at the moment is great for you because with what's going on, vitamin D is a way of helping to boost your immune system and help you through this time as well. So there is also, if you can't, you're in the house and it's dark, there is light, certain lights that you can get. It's a blue light or a daylight bulb, which actually is really nice to use, to read by, or to have. So you actually get more of a daylight light rather than your ordinary lights. So look at, getting a daylight bulb and see how that helps. I certainly found one time when I used to have one, reading by that was hugely different. It certainly made me feel different, and my reading experience was different. So something else you can do is go with the flow. It's a seasonal change. And are we attempting to keep ourselves rigidly to something that, it has to be a certain way? We've got to do certain things. We're supposed to feel a certain way the whole time. But seasons change. The days get shorter, they get longer. And there's this breathing happens. So how about going with the flow? Feel into the season. What can you do now? How are you feeling? What can you do? Or what can't you do? Don't focus on what you can't do. Maybe adjust things as the days get shorter. And say to yourself, well, what can I do now to help me be with the season that I'm in at the moment? Rather than attempting to do everything that you've been trying to do, you were doing before when the days were longer. And I think sometimes we can be a little bit rigid about how we live our lives and our expectation of what we can, do and make up making ourselves wrong. So stop making it wrong. Notice what's happening. Breathe. Because when you're stressed, your breathing goes very shallow. So there's that tightness of breath. Take some deep breaths and breathe into it. Relax. Breathe into that, your belly center, you know. And there's a lovely activity you can do to relax that breathing. And it's a brain gym activity. And brain gym is activities that help just take away stress of learning, help you to relax, find different perspective on things. And this one is called belly breathing. And all you do is just put your hands over your belly and imagine that there's a feather here. And you breathe in, and as you breathe out little puffs of air, and imagine keeping that feather afloat. So you breathe in and then breathe out and go. And if you notice, I kept breathing until I had no breath, and then you automatically take a breath in. So you just keep breathing out and out and out and out, and then let that breath come back in again. And do that several times. And then notice what happens to your breathing, what happens to your abdomen and your stomach, and see what tension is there or isn't there anymore. And then notice what happens to your breathing and how you're feeling. So that's one way of being able to sort of get that breathing back in to a rhythm that's comfortable and healthy for you. Because it is noticing when you stop breathing and you're stressed and you're uptight and you're trying to get on with something and you're going, oh, this isn't working. Can you feel that tension? Just with the way I'm holding myself, it's like, oh, breathe. Let go. So what are you hearing, Namsa?
Let go, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is very, very important to go with the flow, because in life you have to be the energy. You have to bring the energy that you want to see in people. You have to basically check in with yourself very often. And basically, once you check in very often, you will understand who you are as a person. You get to know yourself and start going with the flow and develop your spiritual, basically by accepting yourself and knowing who you are, going with the flow each and every day. And address whatever situation that you see that is bringing changes, your mood changes in your life, checking with your health, addressing your health problems that are, that are going on. Address everything in your life. You don't try to ignore it, because if you don't address things, that's when things go wrong. But if you know that this is the trigger of this, like if you are somebody who don't go with the flow, who likes to control the situation, you can't control the weather, you can't control, otherwise you'll be miserable. So you shouldn't shy away of what gets you down. So we meant to evaluate the situation and deal with the situation, going with the flow, like you say, Carol Ann, and let go of things that, because we know, like right now, we have a long winter in the UK. Let go of things that basically that don't save you, that you know that you cannot change them. The things that you don't have control. We can't control weather, but it just addresses the situation. Whatever you know that during winter time, if it's depression or if it's whatever that is going on in health problems, try address it, work with the professionals and address it be disciplined, have a good diet as well, because the diet, it does help. Having a good diet, it does help. Like right now with the coronavirus, I was watching a video. The guy says that when you basically have coronavirus, you shouldn't eat cooked food. You should basically go stay away from cooked food. Eat dry fruits. Eat fruits and dry food. Basically, has this video where he says when you eat those food and whatever he suggests, he says you're producing the blood, a clean blood in your system. So it does help out basically to actually fight the virus and stick to your values as well. If things are not going well, sometimes we tend to step aside of our values and our beliefs just because the things are not going well. Stay within your values, stick to your values, keep your beliefs, stay disciplined and keep the light, because even if it's dark, you still have the light in mind. Keep the light. If you want another light to really feel it, you can go and buy this light Carol Anna was talking about. Yeah, it will help you to have the same light we have the summertime, because the winter time we have snow, we have rain, we have so many things that are going on, and right now there's pandemic, so many things that are going on. So you can imagine, so you have to have the right attitude, because if you don't have the right attitude, you won't know the things that are triggers your moods or whatever is going on. So have the right attitude, know yourself very well, and work with a professional. And when you work with a professional, you know yourself, they get to know you. Between the two of you can come up with a plan to help you pull through times, dark winter times.
That's right. And I'm hearing you create a plan, and it's just ensuring that life goes on. You know, you cook your meals, you wash your clothes, you do the things that you need to do. It is getting yourself up and keep going and making sure that life goes on, because it can be so easy to just slip into can't be bothered, you don't eat, you don't, you find yourself putting the same old clothes on and not washing or not showering as often. It's having those regular routines. It's keep to a routine and, get up in the morning, have your routine for the morning, but also maybe create a routine to go to bed with as well, so that you've got that routine, you get into it and your body knows what's happening. Because it is just training yourself into that frame of mind of, okay, this is where I'm at. How can I deal with this right now? How can I get through this? What can I do? And recognize when you go down the avenue of, oh, I can't do this, or I can't do that, or it's so dark. Well, yes, as we just said, you can get a light, a daylight bulb. And I loved something you said, Nomsa, about keep the light in mind. It immediately had me think, oh, how about turning a light on in your mind? Because has the light gone out in your mind as well? Even if it's dark out there, has it gone dark in your mind? Switch on that light. Ask for support in a spiritual way. Ask for that light to go on to guide you. So there are other ways of switching that light on. Be patient. Patience has been one of my biggest lessons. I changed careers. I came out of teaching and set up my own business, and things have taken a long time to start falling into place. And at one time I was really, I want it now, I want it sorted. And I kept hearing patience. And I kept going, I don't want patience, I just want it now. But when I relaxed into that, I exercised patience, things started to show up. I'd find myself having a phone call with somebody, or I'd find myself looking at a web page. Something would just spring up and I go, oh, that's just what I need to hear or to see right now. A friend might suggest something that I could read. I'd have a conversation that just went, oh, that's just the answer that I need right now. And by having patience, it allows you to be in the now. It helps your body to release the tension and accept where you are. Acceptance, patience. And as Namsa was saying, don't try and control the situation. Let go of that attempt to control it and go with the flow. And say, well, what can I do? What are some jobs that maybe you've been putting off doing? That perhaps you could do now. That maybe because in the summer you can get out and about more, and therefore these particular jobs don't get done. What about listing those through the summer? As they come up in your mind, you think, oh, there's that. Oh no, because I want to get out because it's nice and bright and sunny, and make a list of them. Create that plan so that when you're in the darker days, the shorter days and the darker nights, you're in more, these jobs get done. So again, you are working with the season. You're breathing with the season. What can you do? When can I do it? Create that life for yourself that you can get through this. And something else you can do is actually just trigger your senses. Maybe have something brighter on the walls in the winter than you do in the summer. Just change a few things. Have a bit more splashes of colour in some way. Put up another painting. Maybe have different curtains. Have more coloured curtains in the winter. Bring something colourful. And ladies, paint your nails, We do it in the summer. Why not in the winter? And another thing, other senses you've got. Smell. Use of essential oils or any other pleasant smells that you like. Bring those in so that it just arouses your senses. And essential oils can help you in different ways. I mean, I love lavender. My mum loved lavender. It's very relaxing. And that's why we've called the house that we've got, my sister and I, it's the family home that we've taken over in Swindon. It's now a serviced accommodation. And we've called it Lavender Harmony House. Lavender after the fact that it was always lavender smell in the house. And harmony because of the harmony that my sister and I brought about between us that never used to be there. As sisters, we were always arguing, and there was always this tension and competition and attempting to control. But we've created a harmonious relationship through creating this business. So, Lavender Harmony House. So what smells would you like in the house that you could put that would help you to relax? Bring you alive, Something like eucalyptus is great just to tingle those senses and help your breathing. Lavender is very relaxing. What other oils are there? There's loads of different oils explore them. Maybe do a bit of research. What would you like to smell? So again, you're bringing in something that helps you through the season and helps you to lift you out of those low moods. Anything else that you'd like to add, Nomsa?
Oh, I like it when you say, I like the name you named the Lavender Harmony House. You've named the house for you and your sister. I think it's amazing. And I like it when you say, be patient. That word everyone struggle with. Those who are disciplined, they've worked really hard to be patient and live in the now. It's very, very important to be patient, to live in the now. I've seen when I started my business, I basically I meditated a lot before. When I was starting my business, I could have easily gave up, but because I have so much patience. So when somebody criticizes me, I just evaluate their critiques, whether it's valuable or is not valuable, or is it relevant to my business, or they're just criticizing me for some glory, for their own glory. So you basically you have to be patient. Patient. You have to live in the now, in the present moment, because like you were saying, we work with the season. Life is a seasonal life, and some days you might be happy, some days you might be down, and you have to live in the moment. Just enjoy as much life as you can. Be aware of your thoughts as well. Take a journal, write your thoughts, write your feelings, be aware of your feelings. And I was saying yesterday that I love music. When I'm walking on the street, I'm listening to music, but at the same time, when a negative thought appears, I just confront it straight away. I talk to myself, tell myself to shoo, tell that voice that is bringing negative thing to shoo. And sometimes people think maybe I'm talking on the phone because I've got earphones on, but I'm like talking to myself. Honestly, I even say it out loud. I don't say it inside my voice. I just say it out loud. And once I tell that voice to shushu, and because I want to live in the moment, I don't want to live regretting of the mistakes that I've made in the past. I don't want to live in the tomorrow, what's going to happen tomorrow. I want to work on the moment and plan ahead for tomorrow, but I don't want to hold on to what is working, what is not working. I need to live in the moment and just enjoy my life. So I just go with the flow, like you said, to go with the flow. And although I plan, I do everything that I'm supposed to be doing, but I have to make sure that my mindset is in the present moment. And if somebody brings up the past, for me, basically, it has to be I evaluate the past as is this person blaming me, or do they want me to learn from that past? So then I have to evaluate what is being said, or what my voice is telling me to do, or is it trying to help me, or is trying to cause fear? Because fear will always be there. So if it is fear that it is being brought to me, I'm like, no, I can do this. I can do this. And even though it's winter times, I can do this. I take my vitamins D, making sure that everything is good. I monitor my health wise, making sure that everything is good, and I keep my exercises, and I keep my prayer life, because my spiritual life is very, very important for me. In order for me to basically to understand myself within, I have to keep my spiritual life very, very active. And like right now, I was looking online. I need to get a strength coach. Um, So I'm gonna look into it to get a strength coach that can help me when I'm if basically mentally and physically. Basically, when you're sports, basically people, they always have a strength coach. It means when things are hard, you have somebody that can pick you up. Your mind basically is disciplined, that you can train yourself basically when things are not going well to bring yourself back. Because we live in this world where um, it's a judgmental. People can be judgmental, but if you really, really know yourself, and even if you have a business, like you have a business coach, if you really, really know yourself, you'll be able to actually go on with your life and live in the moment, live in the moment. Like right now, I always say we didn't know that we're gonna get up one day and be told that we're going on lockdown, but we did. And Kamal says that there are no guarantees in life. And what's the name? Nadia says the time has come for you to break away from the chain and remove yourself from the distractions, which is a mind and thoughts can be a distraction if you're not aware of who you are as a person. Because if you journal everything, you'll be able to recognize the thoughts and say, oh, actually, when I'm thinking this way, that means it's these thoughts. This is what brings the thoughts. I'm thinking this way. This is how I think. And when these thoughts, when the fear comes, which means I'm thinking of this and I'm doing this, instead of blaming yourself, because sometimes we can blame ourselves. So Carol Anna, you always talk about don't make yourself wrong in every situation, when everything that comes your way is a lesson. So without you blaming yourself, because sometimes we find it very easy. It's easy to actually blame yourself. So with people, like you find when things are going well, you're praising God and you're saying glory, hallelujah. When things go wrong, you are like, God, why have you forsaken me? Where is God? Does he even exist? You start creating all these imaginary things in your head. But when things are going well, it's like everything is hallelujah and stuff. So that is what happens in winter days. Dark winter days, you have to, like you say, live in the moment, live in the now.
And
And
what you're saying is very easy to go into, oh gosh, why have I been forsaken?
yeah,
And it's actually recognizing it is in those darkest times that you are being supported. You might not realize it at the time, but when you look back and you join up the dots, you can see how things have happened. And I've often looked back now and thought, oh my goodness. At the time, there were really dark times. And I remember thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to get through this? But you do. And you then, when you look back, you realize how people have come into your life at various times and supported you in the most miraculous way. It has been amazing. So instead of saying, well, why has he forsaken me? Maybe just think, oh, okay, so in what ways is he supporting me right now that I'm not aware of? Because very often there's something that's going on in the background that you're completely unaware of. And it isn't till later that you suddenly go, oh my goodness. So that's what was going on. And I needed to go through this before I could get to where I am now. Before I can experience what I'm experiencing now and the success, because things weren't ready before. And so that's why sometimes we need to exercise patience. But I love the quote by Bernice Johnson Reagan. Life's challenges are not supposed to paralyze you. They're supposed to help you discover who you are. And that's what the challenge is through this time. If you do find that the dark nights and the shorter days are paralyzing you in some way, it's a challenge. It's one of life's challenges. How can it support you? What can you learn about yourself? What can you discover about who you are? And there's always something to discover. So just sit in that inquiry. What is there to discover about who I am? What I'm about? Just sit in that discovery, in that inquiry. And you don't know what's going to pop up. It's amazing what pops up when you go into an inquiry. Because for me, many years ago, I actually heard a voice in my head that said, "You're going to write a book." And I was like, what? Me? No. Because for me, writing was a nightmare. I hated writing. I hated words. I loved maths and I still do. But writing, no. But I didn't dismiss that voice. I didn't just go, "Oh, no, I can't do that. Once I got over that initial shock, I went, okay. So if I'm going to write a book, what's the book going to be about? How can I write it? How big is it going to be? What's the topic? So it actually set up that inquiry, and my whole life just took on another direction, which is why I'm now exploring writing more. I'm enjoying writing and supporting others with their writing because I found a way of unlocking that writer within. I found a way of discovering that I am good at writing. I can write. And yes, there's still more for me to learn and explore, but it's unlocked that a joy of exploring words, playing with words, instead of going, "Oh, I don't understand that word," and shutting down on it. Find out about it. Bring it to life. Because for me, words were like flat and dead on a page. Didn't move. Had no meaning. Whereas numbers, they move, they live, they breathe, they cooperate. Words didn't in the same way. So I've now brought them to life and explored. I'll look at a word and I go, "Oh, I don't understand that word," or there's no movement, there's no picture. So what I do is I look at the meaning. I go into the dictionary, I Google it, and then I look up synonyms and just keep flowing around until it goes, and it brings it to life. So what could you do in this period of time that feels very dead and lifeless and is causing a challenge for you? How else could you look at it? In what ways could you put a different spin on it? A positive spin? Where's the light in this? And just change that mindset. There's another quote that I've got here that I like. It's by Anton St. Martin. "On your darkest days, do not try to see the end of the tunnel by looking far ahead. Focus only on where you are right now. Then carefully take one step at a time by placing just one foot in front of the other. And before you know it, you will turn that corner." So again, it's bringing you back into the moment, into the present. It's about being here in the moment and being completely present. Because when you are in the moment, can you hear the quiet, the peace? Still your mind. Because when you're in the moment, all of emotions just go because there only is this moment. And if you struggle with that to become present, just say to yourself, so what can I hear? And acknowledge it. What else can I hear? Oh, there's a door banging. What else can I hear? I hear a siren in the distance. What else can I hear? And keep asking yourself that, and notice what happens as you keep asking and asking and acknowledging what you hear. Because that will bring you right into now. And then notice what happens to your feelings and to your thoughts and your emotions. What changes? So that's a great activity that I love to do. And I very often will bring myself to that when I'm more scattered and anxious. You know, that's just one of the tools that I have that I do utilize quite often. So what are your thoughts, Namsa?
I like it, the quote that says the life challenges are not supposed to paralyze you. I 100% agree with this quote because I think life challenges are meant to make us stronger. We're meant to learn from those challenges. I'm in a business event right now. I just took a break to come and do live. Is for professional athletics and referees and other business owners and stuff. So you listen to athletics, the way they speak, like what they have to go through to get to where they need to. Basically, when you are on the pitch, basically you are representing the country, and whatever the problems, when things go wrong, when you are being watched with millions and millions of people, you are not meant to go and sleep and cry under the pillow and stuff. You are actually meant to motivate you. You're meant to get up. Basically, you are not meant to basically feel sorry for yourself. You have to live in the moment, and the minute you leave the pitch, when they boo you or whoever people support you, you have to get on, carry on, going to the next level, because you'll be facing another challenge. So meaning there might be another next game coming up, so you have to carry on. So if you don't have that mind of picking yourself up and carrying on with things, because you have to, if like myself, I have a business, so it means I have to have a business coach. So when things go wrong, I have somebody or a therapist that I talk to. And when things go wrong, just help myself, pick myself up. Those people, even if they talk to me and they say to me, do this, do this. If I'm not ready to pick myself up, so it's me that need to pick myself up. So this code, I think, is really, really helpful to understand that challenges in life are meant to give us strength. We're meant to learn from those challenges. There is no way that you can have a beautiful life without challenges in life. Beauty comes with challenges. Business, I hear people saying, "Oh, I love your website. I love your branding." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." But deep down, it came with the challenges. For me to get there, there were challenges, and people saying, "Oh, how long is your business running?" When I say 3 years, 1 year was challenge. It came with the challenges as well. So I love it when they say problems are basically challenges are meant to pick us up. We're meant to climb the mountains, even if you're being challenged. Just see it as a push, see it as something that's why journals are very, very important through dark times, through good times, because you can write down your journey, you can write down everything. And I like this quote as well. I didn't write it full. It says, on your dark days, try not to see the end of the light.
End of the
Is
tunnel.
end of the tunnel as well. Is a good quote as well, because on your dark days, basically when you are in dark days, it means that God is challenging you, or the universe, whatever your beliefs might be. If you're being challenged to see how much you want what you say you want this, because you can't say something you want this, and then a challenges comes, then you're not interested, and then you start complaining in this. No, challenges comes for you to stay focused, for you to learn basically to deal with things without challenge, without difficult customers, without any challenge. You wouldn't learn to be who you are as a person. Like, we are what we are, what we do at Ngozi Talk Shows, because we had to deal with the challenges in life. We had to create the principles and put principles in place. We had to learn the skills and the knowledge to become who we want to become, so we can be able to share whatever we've learned from those challenges with other people. I would not go and teach people how to live, how basically the relationship, and become a relationship coach if I don't know anything about relationships, if I've never been through challenges in life, if my life has just been beautiful. So you wouldn't teach anyone. So you teach people because of the uh, dark times you had to go through, and because of the knowledge and having that courage to say, oh, I'm gonna go on YouTube, there's something a course that I need to take, and I'm gonna go on YouTube, or I'm gonna go to this website, or I'm gonna contact the college and just try to learn it, get the skills that are needed for me to be able to be who I want to become. And that comes with the challenges as well. You're gonna come across with people who don't believe in you. You're gonna come across with people saying, "Oh, you're old. Do you think it's the right time for you now to learn something new?" And that's what dark days do. That's what winter days do. So I agree with these quotes. Basically, I'm gonna keep them for myself. If so, just to remind myself that challenges are here to give me strength. They are here to basically for me to know that it's not the end of the tunnel. It's for me to seek God more, and just um, keep doing what I do, and become who I want to become, which is the same with the uh, dark days of winter. You just have to keep your values, keep your beliefs, know yourself, and know that every challenge that comes your way is not supposed to paralyze you, like this quote Carol Anna gave us. Over to you, Carol Ann.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up again about keeping your values and your beliefs. It is about being able to stay true to yourself, because the more you get to know who you are, the more you get to know what your values are and what your beliefs are, and then being able to stand by that. So again, as you were saying, some people would just might try and knock you down. They don't believe you, or they make you question yourself. And I know in this particular time as well, yes, there's the dark days, but there's also that darkness in terms of, you've got that split between what people believe in and what they're doing, and people that are being made to take an action that actually is against their values and their beliefs, but there's a fear set in, there's a consequence that's hung over them that makes them take that action that they didn't really want to anyway, in the first place. And now it's created tension and arguments between people. And so how can you keep yourself buoyant in that space? Because knowing that you can't change other people's views, you can't change them, you can only change yourself. So it is really knowing your values, knowing your beliefs, and finding ways to maintain that strength, to be a stand, but also be flexible, be willing to listen and discuss, but not be drawn into or shut down. Be able to express yourself. But listening is also important. And being, there's a flexibility that, because sometimes things do change, and that you need to think, oh, is this within my values? What is it I stand for? What's important for me? And keep coming back to that. And if you find that hard, some of the techniques that we discuss here about bringing yourself present, finding someone to support you, there is some music. You mentioned music. Music's a great lifter. Play music that gets you moving and dancing, lifts your spirits, because music itself, there are certain types of music that can reflect your mood and pull you down. Find music that lifts you up. But there are certain types of music. It's different hertz, vibrational music, and that can help you with shifting your vibration in terms of letting go of fear, clearing destructive energies, clearing and creating more positive energies, letting go of that negative state, and promoting love. And 4 of those numbers is 852 hertz. That's HZ for short. If you put these into YouTube and see what comes up, you get 852 hertz. Helps to cleanse destructive energy. 396 hertz removes negative blocks. There's a letting go of fear. 432 hertz is letting go of all negative energy, and it releases emotional blockages. And then there's 528 hertz, which helps promote love and DNA repair. So explore, have a listen to some of those and just notice how they can shift your mood and your thoughts and your actions. Because actually, by changing yourself, your own vibration, it will impact others. That's what will change out there. Play around with it. Notice what changes. And don't allow yourself to be pulled down into the negative despair. Find ways of lifting yourself up. And as we've suggested quite a few here. And just to leave you with something, I said about breathing into the seasons. How about just slowing down, curling up in a nice cozy chair and read a book. Maybe those books that you put off reading in the summer because you want to get out and about, have them ready for the winter. Curl up, read that book, or just journal. Make use of the time and take control of the situation, and things will change. You will turn that corner bit by bit.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol Ann. And we are here at Ngo's The Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. And please have a good weekend. So we're looking forward to next week is a Christmas week, so we'll still be here. And on the 24th, there's gonna be many of us. I think at the moment we have 7 people that have confirmed that they are coming, 6 or 7 people. So it's gonna be really amazing, and hope to see you there on a Friday. But we're gonna be here Monday to Thursday and Friday as well. So Live with grace, everyone. Remember what Carol Ann say. Remember who you are and what you stand for as a person. It's very, very, very important to know your values and your beliefs. So live with grace and enjoy your weekend.
Bye.